It's time, once again, ladies and germs, for that scrapbooker extraordinaire. The one, the only, Terry, the spice of my life, Rice.
Yay, let's hear it from my announcer.
Thank you very much.
Well, today I'm back with a process video, and I'm gonna actually show you more of my process. And so the last two layouts I did, I used this. I had found all these Simple Stories vintage lemon twist things, and like lots of stuff. And then my daughter had given me this, it was a Michael's Hot Buy kit, and I actually found this first, I found it in her garage. And so anyhow, she's like, you can have it. And then I found these things, and I thought, oh, that'd go perfect with it, because it looks just like the colors, and you know, all the colors are perfect. So anyway, I played with this twice now, and I was putting it away, and I thought, I'd kind of like to play with that again. So I thought, okay, what am I going to use to play with it? And anyway, excuse me, I found these pictures of my Juliet cat, and she was, I'll tell you, all the other cats are hard to take. My cat that was black, it was hard to get a picture of him. I had this one little tiny cat, and every time I took a picture of her, she just looked like a mouse or like a rat. She didn't photograph well. But now Julie, she was just such a beautiful cat. And so anyhow, it's like, this picture I actually took of her because it reminded me of some stationery I had when I was a teenager. And so I've always loved this one. So I pulled these out, and it's like I'm looking at them with the papers, and I'm thinking, oh yes, it'd be perfect. And then anyway, it's like I decided that I didn't really like how these looked with this. So I've just totally ruled out doing these now. Maybe I'll do them some other time. I'm gonna do this one just because it reminds me of that stationery I had. And the stationery was actually just a piece of paper, and there was like one printed flap that actually looked like very close to this. Except for, I think that cat, you could hardly tell it was a cat. You really had to look at it. So maybe its eyes were closed, or like it was sleeping. I'm not sure, because for some reason you couldn't tell it was a cat very much. But I thought this looked very much like it. The size, I think it was close to the same size and everything. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna use this. And then I'm looking at the different things, and I had, let's see, I'd actually kind of laid it on different ones. It's like, oh, she's a lovely cat. She's very photogenic. She looks good on everything. And then I had actually laid her on top of this scrap, and it's like, oh, I love that. So I'm gonna stick these underneath here. So I was like, okay, so then I'm trying this on everything. And so, because this is what I loved how she looked on this, the darker papers. So I'm trying that on everything. I even liked a little bit of yellow showing, but I put this like this, and it's like, no, it just, see how it kind of fades out the photo? So I like it with the dark. It needs the dark there, even though I can pull this yellow in someplace else. And then I've been trying, you know, it's like I was trying it on everything, because I do like the darker with it, but I also liked this with it. And then, oh, and this was another, actually these two pieces were scraps left over from something else, and I like those. But I'm really kind of leaning towards, well, actually, even before I decided my papers, I think I was to this point where I think I actually had this laying here, and these laying here. And then I thought, okay, I've got these frames. Do I have one big enough for her? And so I pulled out this one. Now, this one would actually be big enough too, but oh no, it's actually going the wrong way. So I pulled out this one, and then I thought, okay, she doesn't fit in there. So I went and cut paper so that I could make it fit. And it's like, yeah, that looks all right. I'm, you know, trying it out, and it's like, yeah, that would work. And then, so it kind of, when I set it down, it kind of went at an angle, and it's like, oh, that's cute, I like that. So then I think, I'd like it better though if that white wasn't there. So then I took out the white again. And I'm kind of liking it where you see a little bit of this scrap, a little bit of this scrap. And, you know, underneath this. So I'm kind of thinking maybe, you know, where you see a little bit of both of them. I like that there. So that's kind of what I was liking, and then I kind of pulled this little pink over here, yellow over here. So I like that. And then I like the plaid back there, but I'm thinking, okay, cats, you know, they're out there playing in the yard, playing with the flowers, so maybe flowers. Kind of like to bring in the flowers, so that's when I brought this in. I like that. And then I liked it on top of this because I liked having that other color there. But then I thought, okay, I kept thinking, you know, she's this black, and then she's got like shades of the white, but you know, in the between you see like these muted colors. So this paper came to mind, so I'm thinking, okay, I could maybe bring this in. It's like, I like that, but it almost became too muted. And then I tried this one, I think, let me see. Yeah, this one here. And it's like, oh yeah, I like that. I really like that. But it has this. And I'm thinking, okay, if I put that in the picture, I'm gonna make this probably, you know, really kind of cut down these pieces so that I can show a little bit of that, even if it's just that much. And I really like that. And I have to say, I haven't made a decision yet. I'm really liking the wood in there. And so, but I mean, you see, I had this whole pile of paper here, and I'm trying to decide. And then this one is a really nice color, and then I could have it this much space, because I really have a hard time covering up this, even though I have, you know, at least two of them. I like this. Now this looks crisper, cleaner, even though I really like this. I mean, you see what I'm saying? And this, you know, it kind of brings in this yellow because you have these golden tones here. Okay, so then I had to pull out one more. And this one is a darker. And this is one of those ones, it's by Reminisce, and it's Barnwood Beauty. And no matter what I put in here, I will do the wood going this way. Because that's, I don't know how I make the decision, but it's like, I think it needs to go this way. Okay, and I really like this. I really like that dark with it. So now it's like, okay, this is kind of what I go through when I decide. Sometimes it's like, you know, it's very easy, but then, you know, it's like when you start to bring in something else, it's like, okay, I really like that dark wood with it. And maybe I would still only do that much, you know, and have all the different layers and still only do that much, and with that dark color. Kind of liking that now. I mean, it's different when you're in different rooms too, because I started out in my art room cutting everything. But today I brought it all out here first. So if I'd have cut anything, I might have cut this one when I was in the art room. I do like that but look at how it changes everything. And how that changes everything. It really makes Juliet pop out. But we always just called her Julie. So now I'm gonna have to stand up and look at her like this. Look at her like this. Now these two, this one, the one that I'm showing you right now has yellow in it. This does not. I mean, I love how muted that looks. And I think I like it better without the yellow. Now I think now that I've had a really good look at it, I think this is the one. So I'm really loving that. And I'm thinking I want to see more of the wood. And so maybe cut these pieces down more. So I think I'm going to go cut these down. And I kind of like them in this way. So I'll be cutting them a little bit. And then I'll come back and show you where I'm at then. And then we'll decide on the embellishments then. But I kind of wanted to go through this with you. Because I know right now I'm going to do a lot of layering. And I had people saying, oh, I really love the layering of the Canterbury Girl. So since I realized I was going to layer this, I thought I'll kind of go through, you know, kind of picking out the papers and why I like them. Because this is where I started. When I laid her down on these papers, that just seemed like it brought so much color to her. And then it's like the other ones I've just been added, even though this really mutes it compared to that darker one. I mean, I think this is almost, it's like your eye goes to her and then you go to this. Where this still, it's like the tones are similar and so you still really see the cat. So that's kind of how I'm deciding, you know, what to choose. So I hope that was helpful, and I'm going to cut down the papers and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back with my pieces that I tore, and I'm just going to lay them here so I can kind of show you how I decided I'm tearing them. And so I had, you know, these were just together, of course. And so I have them laying here, and so I laid down my picture how I thought I would want it, because I want to see a little bit of this color here and this color here. So I want it kind of like that. And then I just kind of, you know, I've got my paper here that is going to be the full length. So I'm thinking, okay, so I want this one, you know, where I'm seeing a little bit of it on this side and a little more on here. So that's kind of how I decided. So I was kind of arranging it like this. And then I kind of made a mark here because I knew this side was going to be easy because I was just taking off a tiny bit. So I decided where I was going to take this off. And then I went ahead and ripped it. And remember, if you want to see this part, and sometimes I end up with like this thick piece of stuff, you know, the tattered edge or whatever you want to call it. And then I will pull off more of it like this. And I kind of like it to look like it's a little bit different over the whole thing. So then I might, you know, kind of rough it up a little bit more like that. But I just take it and kind of work it, and then I also kind of tear in a little so that I get a little different size, because I don't want it to be like a straight line. And I do sometimes like a straight line, but it's a cat picture. I kind of want it to look a little messy, even though it's not. It probably doesn't really look messy at all. But That's what I think. And so it's like I just kind of start tearing, and then I decide, okay, I'm going to tear it a little bit more and just kind of work it out like that. So then I end up with my bigger or my smaller piece, and this was just a scrap. I'm basically using it like it is, minus the what I've taken off it. And then I did the same thing over here. I decided I was going to tear this much, decided I would tear in a little bit more in certain parts, and then go back out so it just looks very tattered. And then I just always tear off the other part. I hope that kind of makes sense. I was thinking I should have just kind of tore it on screen, but now I hate to cut off anymore. So I've got this done. And so I'm going to arrange it actually something more like this. And then I have this piece that I'm gonna basically leave it as it is because I wanna see a little bit of yellow at the top and a tiny bit at the bottom. So maybe kind of like this, kind of like that. And so this one I'm not gonna tear it at all. And I could tear it, but I just decided I wasn't going to. And then this piece here, I actually cut it, I think it's 10 inch. And now if this would have been maybe a little heavier, I might have cut out the middle, but I've been buying more wood paper just so that I do have it, because I love it as a background. A lot of times I forget to use it, but I'll tell you, I almost did this, because when I flipped it over, it's like, oh, it's my crumbling plaster, and I love that. So I almost thought of doing this, but I just don't love it as much as I do the other side. I mean, I actually want to love this, because I love this paper, but I like the other side better. I'm sure I have 2 of these. The next one I'll use like that, because I love this with this. So it's like, can't believe how difficult that seemed. Oh, and this is like one of my favorite paper pads. It's called Rustic Dreams by Memory Place, and this particular one is called Bentley 2. But yeah, love it. And I think I bought it for the other side. Okay, so I'm gonna start layering these. I've taken a picture so I can see how I have them on here. And this is how I have the paper, like this. And I'm actually gonna kind of look at this to see if I kind of have it laying here straight, because this is gonna be crooked. I mean, I want this to be crooked, if that makes any sense. And so I just want it to be straight in front of me so that when I put it crooked, I see that it's crooked. Okay, so I almost have it over to this corner and almost to the bottom, so you can kind of see where I have a little bit of it. I'm not up one side too much more than the other. So I'm gonna figure that's the spot. And then again, I'm going to take this one and I'm gonna overlap here. Maybe pull it down a little bit, because I do want this to be in this frame when I get it laid on there. So I'm going to have that yellow one underneath there. So I think I'm gonna put this there before I tape that down, because I'm just gonna have to guess where this ends up. Well, actually, I don't have to guess too much. I am looking at my photo. Okay, and I do want it to kind of poke through the bottom a little bit. I don't have to have a little bit or too much down there. And this is a scrap from, I don't know when, because it's like I just pulled stuff out of my scraps when I was putting things in this paper pad to go with the lemon squeeze things. So, okay, I think so it's like I'm not worried about keeping this or whatever. Okay, so, and I do have actually another scrap of this because I used it for something. Okay, so I think that's good there. And one thing about the tape, you can kind of remove that. You can't remove that glue, you know, once that goes down. Okay, so I'm just putting this kind of at an angle, and I want it to go off the paper a little bit here, and maybe a little more here. So kind of like that. That's probably the spot, because this is how much yellow I want to see. I don't want it to be a whole lot of that yellow. Okay, and then this one here, and I've used this one on whatever one I did it was the Brenna at the Back Tea Festival, if I'm saying that right. And so now this one here, I want to have a little bit of it hanging off this edge and a little bit of it hanging off the edge. I love collage where you get to see everything touching everything, if you kind of know what I mean. and I've loved collage ever since, I mean, for as far as I can remember. Okay, and so now I'm gonna have this where it's a little more straight, and because of everything being angled, I am trying to keep this straight. So I'm going to, well, let's see if I can kind of have it straight in the camera. Does that make it straight to me? No. That means my camera is not straight. Let's see. Because now I think it looks straight to me. Okay, that should be better. Okay, and then this here, I want to see that little bit of this paper and a little bit of this paper with that picture. So, and I don't even know if I care that that hangs out a little bit, but I think I need it where it's kind of like that. And I don't want the frame, do I want the frame straight? I mean, that would make it easier to line up everything else. Let's see, if I made the picture a little crooked and the frame straight, that might work better for me. Let me look at that a minute. Because I am gonna line up things with, either with the picture or with the frame. I think I'm gonna keep the frame straight and not the picture. So I'm gonna tape this and lay it here a little bit crooked like I think it goes, and then put this frame over it and see where I think I want it. And that's probably its spot there, because I want to see a little bit of these papers here and here. So if that's like that, that's good. I'm seeing a little bit of that darker turquoise and then the floral. Okay, so I'm going to push that picture down. Okay, and now I'm going to put some tape on this. And this, I'm sure I'll have to glue it too, just because it's kind of warpy. I don't know. I think this might be the first time I've ever used one of these frames. It's like, I don't think I've ever purchased them, but I got this one at Tuesday morning, so that's why I have it. But it's beautiful. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to get this straight again. Hopefully I did have it laying there straight, because sometimes I push on it and push it right off kilter. Okay. And I am trying to get that edge kind of in. Okay, I think that looks good there. Okay, and when I made this kit, and I showed this the other day when I was doing that Bach Tea Fest, and hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Again, I was trying to use these little letters, but they, you know, she's a resting cat, you can tell, she's resting. So it's like, this has too much movement, and it's like, I really thought I had it, but it's not gonna work. Okay, I'm gonna call it Hello Kitty, because I'm so original. Not. But this was laying there in another kit that I hadn't used, and I thought, I could say Hello Kitty, so I'm gonna say Hello Kitty. And I could not find anything. I mean, all the letters that I looked at, I had written ones, but I wanted to use this, and so it's like to put the written ones next to it, it just looked weird. So I wanted something simple for the kitty, since I had the fancy, written hello. So I'm gonna use the hello, and this I will have to use the glue for. So when I put it down, I better be committed. Not into an asylum, but just committed to my spot. It can't distract me too much after that day that I poured a whole glass of water onto my layout and had to dry everything and iron it. And luckily, I think just about everything I had, well, not really. None of the embellishments. I only had the one set of embellishments. I just ironed them. Okay, so now I'm going to, I want them straight with that with the frame, but I want it kind of on the turquoise and kind of on the yellow. Okay, so I'm gonna figure that's straight there. And and I'm gonna keep moving it around, I guess. Okay. It looks like it's straight from the frame. Pretty close, pretty close. I'm good at that. Okay, and then I'm going to put Kitty right next to it, or do I want it down a little further? I don't know. You know what? I still am not in love with the kitty. Maybe I just wanted to say hello. Let's try it without it. And I can't tell you how many. I wanted black letters. It seemed like I needed black letters, so it's like just trying to work that out. Okay, I am gonna stick a little bit of glue underneath these because otherwise they'll be moving. And I'm gonna overlap on these corners again. I don't know who participated in the 30 days of sketches with Chrissy's Beautiful Life, but I had so much fun doing that. It was just a blast. I enjoyed it even more than the first time. It was like pretty trying just because I had never done it before, and it's different when you're working with a sketch first and then with your picture, finding your picture later. But it was so fun, so fun. I loved it so much. And there'll be another one in October. And I get to do a sketch. I get to do day 1. That will be so exciting. So it's going through my head what I want to do. Okay, and I'm just kind of gluing down everything that might be in the way of my embellishments that I want to use. Okay, I think I'm back in screen again. Okay, so I've got most of it glued down. Okay, so I am going to use this little die cut that says Sunrise Dairy Farm, and I think it says whipping cream, but on this side it just says hipping cream. Sweet moments. And this has nothing to do with the dairy farm. I just think it's pretty, so I'm going to use it. I have so many embellishments. It is my goal to use as many as possible. Okay, and we'll see if we use Kitty at the end or not. And there's also this one in the foam stickers, but I've got a lot of dimensional ones, so I thought I'm just going to go ahead and use it like it is. Maybe I'll kind of took it a little bit underneath the frame. And I think it looks like I have it on there straight, but I don't know, sometimes I don't think it matters, like in embellishments, but sometimes I do purposely do them as straight. Okay, I got one of the foam butterflies, and I'm just gonna tilt this in. This one's tilted in, so I'm tilting this in because everything I want it to kind of focus onto the picture. And then I'm bringing, see all the colors that are here, the turquoise, the yellow, the black, I'm gonna bring up here. So I'm gonna bring up this little yellow turquoise, or this little turquoise brad or faux brads. I don't know what you want to call them. Okay, and then I have a little black heart here. And again, I'm going to layer them, and I can already tell it's not gonna stick. It's so funny how sticky they appear until you put them where you want them. So again, I'm gonna stick it on the embellishment and stick it on 2 pieces of paper. Okay, and feels like maybe I need a little bit of glue underneath here. And I think just because they're kind of warpy in the package, you know, these words that I make up, it's a little warpy. Okay, and then I have over here, I'm going to stick this, it looks like a door plate or something like that, and I'm gonna stick this up here, and it says Sweetie. She was a very sweet cat. I have to say she was a sweet cat until she wasn't, because she was that cat that would, you know, okay, it's that time of day, I'm supposed to be petted now, could you pet me please? And she'd just plop on your lap, and then when she was done being petted, she wouldn't just get up and walk away. She had to bite you first. I just think it's so funny, cats. And she was totally like that. And then we had this other cat, Bruce, because he looked like he had a Batman mask. And yeah, he was a nicer cat. He was a sweet cat. Okay, and you see how I've got this one off, I've got this one on, and I don't think I put any sticker on, glue on that, and I think I need to. But I'm gonna kind of look at it because I think I want that one straight. Okay, and it looks like it probably is, but I have to look at it from here. Otherwise I'll be sticking my head in the frame. Okay, and that is, it looks straight, so I just need to glue it more. Okay, let me see if it's still straight. Yep. Because once you put all those, I tell you, because when you put the papers on there crooked, everything looks crooked. But once you get these down, then you think, oh yes, okay, now they look straight to me, they look right. And I'll probably be checking this, see if I want that on there, because I just am not committed to that. I don't know. I kind of want it there, but maybe I won't put it there. Okay, and then this is already embellished, but I'm gonna bring in a little bit more embellishments. I thought this little happy thoughts I'd put there, because this is a kitty that is no longer with us. Actually, we don't have any cats right now. It's just too sad when they get old and die. So we decided not to have any more cats. Stop it. I'll tell you, some of the cats, like, I cried for 3 days. I don't know who's with me here. Okay, so I'm also putting a black embellishment up here because I'm like working with this, and to me it's like I need my 3 black things, I guess, my 3 black embellishments, and then I have 2 yellow ones. Okay, now I'm seeing why I did this. It's like, no, it seems like it needs one more. So I was, even though I wasn't realizing it, I thought I just need one more. I need 3 black embellishments. Okay, and then I'm gonna have this yellow one here, and then I'm gonna have another, and see, I have 2 turquoise here, because you have the flowers, and then you have this, and now I have a turquoise heart. So it's like I didn't realize that I was actually doing this, but there you have it. I did do it. Okay, and I still have not committed to that kitty. You know what? It's just not the font I wanted, and everything else was, I'll tell you, I have these. These are Creative Memories. And it's like, do you think that there is any T's in this? I mean, it's just crazy. How could I use and I had 3 sets and no T's. See? And I did have them in large, but I didn't want them to be, see, that's kind of my problem with this. I kind of wanted small, I don't know, or capitals and smalls. And the other ones, it's like every other one I pulled out, it was like the wrong size, and I didn't want to use turquoise. I did have turquoise, but it just doesn't seem, it seems like it's just too much turquoise then. So I think I'm gonna leave it like this, and I haven't decided if I wanted to use any enamel dots. Now, because this has this little bit of green, my camera shuts off on me if it's decided I've scrapbooked too long. So anyway, I was thinking about these because this is the other color in here that, you know, is not pulled in any place. And well, there's like 2 different shades of green in the leaves in here too, but they're actually still another turquoise. So I was thinking about these, but I almost think they're too sparkly. But I do have these ones that look very much like the dark color in this leaf. It almost like a shamrock color. So I think I will put a few of those in, and maybe only work with the smaller ones because I do have the bigger embellishments. So maybe just a few of these littler ones if I can get them off my nails. And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes 5, so that makes me happy because now we have a odd number, because I didn't have an odd number. I just kept putting in what I wanted, and see, that one thing was really out of my number. It just took away my odd number. Okay, so this brings it back to an odd number, I think, if I can move that. Let's see, 3, 6, 7, yep. Okay, so here I have 4 because I'm thinking that's part of it, especially since I don't have this here, like filling in my spot, but I just can't, I can't love it. Sorry, I'm not committed to it. Okay, so I'm gonna put 3 here to bring it to an odd number. And where do I want this one? Maybe up in here. Okay. And then here, what do I have? 1. So when I was counting them before, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So actually I have 9, so I'd only need 2, or I'll need 4. But I just want to kind of put it where it's overlapping, but I'm not going to. I'm going to put it there. So what did I say I needed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I might put 4 up in this bunch. 12, because we got a lot of space here. And where does it look like it needs some? I'll put it here. That way I kind of have this little triangle going in, just in enamel dots. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for layering, and I'll have photos at the end, and I will see you tomorrow. Who knows what I'll be doing then? I didn't know I was going to be doing a cat today. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.